Moto Z line of phones really distinguished itself with the inclusion of Moto Mods. These are add-ons for your Moto Z that attach to the back of it using magnetic connectors, meaning Bluetooth pairing is not necessary. Now this can be a pretty useful feature, especially given some of the more reasonable Moto Mods, such as a speaker or a portfolio case. Some of them, however, can get pretty out there, like the 360 camera and the Instaprint camera. But by far one of the most popular out there is the Insta-Share Projector Mod. This is exactly what it sounds like, a projector that attaches to the back of your phone, letting you share your screen onto any flat surface according to the ads for it. But is a projector for your phone really useful in any case? Or is this just part of the gimmick? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And to kick things off, let's start with specs. Just looking it over, you see it's got pretty basic stuff. A power button, manual focus, and a hinge that lets you adjust it to whatever viewing angle you need. And it's even got built-in keystone correction about 40 degrees either way. The projector itself weighs 125 grams, which, despite the bulkier stature, is actually lighter than my Moto Z2 Force, which weighs in at 143 grams. And it's not the brightest projector out there, only outputting about 50 lumens, but it's still bright enough to hurt when you shine it in someone's eyes, so I do not recommend that you do that. And besides, projectors are supposed to be used in dark places, and when it's in a dark room, the projector does just fine. It even gets pretty big, 70 inches in a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is pretty cool to see it that size from a good distance, because as you get closer, you start to see pixelation very easily, which isn't a huge surprise either, because the projector only outputs 480p. That's right, it's not even HD, which is just a huge letdown. How much harder would it have been to make it 720? But it honestly doesn't look that bad, especially when it's on a smaller scale and you're at a reasonable viewing distance. But how long can you be watching from that reasonable distance? Well, so that the projector doesn't immediately kill your phone, it has its own 1100 milliamp hour battery, which is small, but does the job, which means that you can watch off the projector for about an hour before it starts draining your phone's battery for the use. And it even has its own USB-C charging port to make it easier to charge, but you can even just attach it to your phone and charge through one port, meaning you won't have to worry about getting a second charger. But since the projector's battery doesn't last very long, realistically, if you're going to be watching a movie, because it won't even get through that, you're going to want to plug it in so that it doesn't drain your phone's battery. But there's also a few other smaller complaints I have with the projector. Firstly, let's talk about the build quality. It's very plasticky, and while it's high quality plastic, it just feels, I don't know, kind of like a toy at some times. If I'm being entirely honest, if I saw this thing, I wouldn't think it even worked. But it does, so I can let it slide. What I can't let slide is the annoying noise that it makes when just being on for just a little while. You see, it begins to heat up pretty quickly, and then an just obnoxious fan kicks in. After a little while, you get pretty used to it, but when it first starts up, it can just be such a huge distraction. Honestly, I would kind of like it better if the fan just spun up right away when it first turned on. And I get that the Moto Mods were supposed to not need Bluetooth pairing, but it would be nice to have the option sometimes. All in all though, it's a pretty cool idea for an add-on, but right now it's just more of a novelty. It's priced at just under $200, which is much more reasonable than the $300 it was previously, but it's still asking a lot. I got mine for free when I leased my phone from Sprint because Motorola had a deal going on at the time. If you want to upgrade to the Moto Z3, you might just be better waiting until the projector can get bundled up with it and then ordering them at the same time. Because otherwise, you can probably find a better projector elsewhere. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to just keep on watching till the end because that's all that the algorithm cares about. But hey, likes are cool too. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, ring that bell notification icon thingy, the bell, you know what I'm talking about, so you can be kept up to date with every new post I make. Consistency isn't my strong suit, so it will only behoove you to do so. And if you want to see more of Tech Tuesday, you can click the playlist on screen to watch all of my techie videos. So that out of the way, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.